am Ashequka Lacey, and I am the owner of Baby Baes Naturals. So, Baby Baes Naturals is an all-natural skincare line for babies and young children. I started my business in 2020, like June actually of 2020. What happened was my youngest son has really bad eczema, like horrible. And I remember going to the dermatologist and I was just like, he needs something for his skin, so they gave him steroids. But the steroids actually made his skin worse instead of better. So for me, I'm like the type of person to always try to come up with some type of solution that's going to work for me. So I did a bunch of research. I was up super late and I reached out to people who have skincare lines. And unfortunately, as much as some people are like, oh yeah, reach out and help. I didn't get any help. So I'm like, it's okay. So I just kept looking and I ended up realizing like, I'm gonna just hire a chemist. So I found a chemist in Europe to help me come up with a formula for dry skin and eczema. Now, I've never made skincare a day in my life, like ever. Like, I don't even like cooking, let alone in the kitchen, weighing and being a chemist. But I ended up doing that, and it's the website. You see a book. I'm an author as well. These are my children. This website I built for the book, but of course I didn't know anything that I was doing. I'm more of a person with a prayer and a plan, and I just go. So I was like, I'm just gonna add it on to here because this is just what works. So that's why Jacoby and Me book instead of Baby Baes Naturals, but new website coming soon. How do I spell it?
What's your fingers from? I can help you out.
Just that beforehand. So this is Jacoby's skin before and after. I got my products in like June, and also it's kind of expensive to hire a chemist, but what I did was from the book sales, I used that money to hire the chemist, and then we were getting those good old stimulus checks, and I used that money to actually buy all of the products that I needed to use to make the products. So with his skin, before I launched it, so I got all of the products by July, and I didn't even launch until like November, because I had to make sure it worked, and it really worked. And I was like, wow, this is a product that at first it was just something I was doing for him. I never thought of it to be a business at first. I was just like, I want to create something that works for my son. And it actually ended up working, and I was like, well, now I need a name because I feel like this can be something lucrative and work for other people. So at first, it started off super duper slow. I wasn't making any money, but I also didn't know a lot about marketing. I was just like posting stuff here and there, but I started doing pop-up shops, and the pop-up shops helped a lot because I was able to meet people, customers, and they ended up, I ended up getting like customers that's always shopping, and at first, in my brain, I'm like, I need to add this product, I need this product. But I realized sometimes less is more. And I launched with only products that I used on them daily. I didn't try to have a huge catalog. So we used oil, body wash, and lip balm. That was all I had for the first 2 years. But it worked, and it sold. Then I ended up adding lip scrub, because I was like, oh, lip scrub is cool, but then I realized people don't put lip scrub on their baby, and I need this to make sense when people see it. So I took the lip scrub off, and then I ended up adding body butters, which is one of my MVP, really. It sells out all the time. So I ended up adding those because our oil is more so to help heal the skin, but you don't have to keep using it. Because if you keep using this oil or any oil, sometimes it actually dries you out. It does the opposite. But the body butter will continue to moisture and, you know, nourish your skin. So now I am at a point, it hasn't been quite 3 years yet, but I'm still learning. My business, I feel like I've built the foundation, but now I just needed the structure for my business, because when you just go off of things like what I did, what works, like all this is working, but it had to kind of come together to make sense. And being a part of now the U and this accelerator, a lot of everything is coming together, and I'm able to piece stuff together and understand what that 3 to 5 years looks like. So for me, the ultimate goal for Baby Bay is like, it's a multi-million-dollar company. This isn't a small business. And I know I need manufacturers. I need people to be able to ship this stuff to the Targets, the Walmarts, the CVS's. Next year I plan on launching my diapers and wipes. I already have like my manufacturer and all of that stuff. And then as a part of my with Baby Bay, something I want to add is representation for the special needs community. My son is special needs, and I don't feel like it's something that's represented a lot. The Honest brand might do something every once in a while, and it's not something I want to make a big deal, like, oh, we put babies with traits on our diapers. I want it to just be normal, like not something I have to point out, just something that people will be used to seeing. So that is one of my goals, is to have that photo shoot done and to be able to make sure that this community is also taken care of. And then also getting with Nationwide Children's Hospital. My son was in the NICU for half of his life, and I want to be able to put Baby Bay's naturals in there, like samples, because the soap that they give us in there is trash. And it did nothing for my baby skin at all. So that is, those are my like long-term, not even long-term, because that's kind of super obtainable. I don't feel like that's out of reach. Like I can definitely do that. And then ultimately, when I exit, I want it to be acquired, because who wouldn't want this company and this story, and to be able to keep it going.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much. All right, so I've got the talking stick. Whoever has a question, I'll bring it by.
This is interesting. Great job, first of all. You did a really great job sharing that story. I really appreciated like you sharing kind of your like, oh, I tried this, but like that didn't make sense, and I just pivoted, and you know, it's got to make sense, because we don't always make all the best choices, right? I'm curious about like what do you feel is different about this product that like doesn't exist? Like there was not something that worked for your baby, and I'm sure there's a lot of babies and children who have a similar thing. So like, I don't know, I'm just like, it's always amazing, like, wow, this didn't exist.
So I think what makes it different, honestly, is it was intentionally cultivated for me. I didn't create it to really be for everybody else. There's legit no formula like it, because the formula was created for me. Now granted, when I go, because I'm a visual person, I'm going to manifest that. Every time I go to Target, I walk down a baby aisle, like, baby babe will look great right there. We can move this one over. And what I noticed is, even when I was going, trying to find stuff for him, a lot of the stuff was like a Band-Aid for the baby skincare and for the eczema. When I say that it really heals the skin like it does, and I think that's one of the benefits of all natural. A lot of people say things are all natural, but it's really not. So having these like luxury oils that I use inside of the oil is what causes it to heal. Like it even helps with cradle cap. My sister used it for her acne. I don't promote that it helps with acne, but it did, you know? So I think that's what kind of sets it apart, is because it's no formula like it, and the results speak for themselves.
my follow-up question.
So has it been tested with other babies?
Yes.
Okay.
So, several people have actually reached out and stopped taking their kids to the dermatologist because it works. Like when they have one of my customers just had a new baby and she was like, I need the whole package because a lot of melanated kids come out with eczema for some strange reason.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Good presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
So a question, when can you tell me about the time when you were, before you met the chemist or went out and got the chemist, what made you make that connection? Like, oh man, what do I do? Like, how did you end up deciding to
Go with a chemist?
Yeah. Just generally, right?
Honestly, it's just how my brain works. Like, I'm going to figure it out. Like, there's an answer for everything. I knew nothing about, like, oh, let me put, like, in order to make a formula, you have to reach 100%. I hate math. I didn't understand any of that. But I just researched, like, it just for a night, though. Like, I researched, and then I interviewed different chemists, and she was the only one that really, like, she understood what I was trying to do, was stuck out. But now I formulate my own stuff, so I don't even need a chemist.
Where'd you find the chemist?
I went on Upwork.
Alright, okay. And then lastly, so when I think of babies, children, how do you protect yourself in that situation? Like, so the chemist is the one that comes up with the formula, or? So
the chemist came up with the formula as far as like the oils to use, the percentage of oils to use, and all of that, and I make everything.
So it's a responsibility on the chemist or you when it comes to?
At this point, it's me because it's mine.
Okay.
Where are all your products currently manufactured?
So currently manufactured in my house.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned that you envision seeing this at Walmart, Target. What's the next step for you to get there?
So honestly, I applied for Target's accelerator, and I'm in the too early stages to be in their accelerator because they're just like, we just need a little bit more from you, but I could still go directly to Target if I wanted. I think I need the power can I like realistically manufacture X amount to give to Target at one time, and like right now I can't with it just being me.
That was my next question. If you get Target, and when you get Target, who's going to manufacture that for you?
Well, with what I'm thinking is I can have like, I would say 3 to 4 part-time people helping me to make this. And I can do a whole lot as long as I have the supplies in the hands, because the time that it takes me to make it isn't long. It's just a batch, the amount that I can make at a time is what takes long, because I don't have the equipment to make 300 at a time. If I had the equipment to make 300 at a time, it takes me 30 minutes to make the body butter. But I need the equipment to be able to make more than 300, 450 grams at a time.
What kind of investment do you think you need?
So looking at some of the equipment and how much the equipment, if I would say for the equipment, $10,000 would get me the mixers, like the big mixers that I need to do it, and it's like a freezer, like a bigger freezer to do it. Then I could store, and it's so many different steps that I just don't have the space or the equipment.
You're gonna get it.
Oh, for sure, thank you.
What's the shelf life?
So the good thing about it is, for body butters, the shelf life could be about 2 years based on the butter, because you're not using water. when people use the water, if I made lotion, the shelf life would be shorter because the water can create mold, and then you have to put stuff in there to make sure it doesn't. So the shelf life is long, and then the glycerin has a shelf life of like 2 years for the wash, and the shelf life for the chapstick is about 2 years too, per butters that I use in it.
Awesome. My next question is, what do you need? Like, what can someone here help with now to help move forward?
So now I feel like the brand awareness part is super important, and I am working on making sure, like, that's why now, yesterday I just shipped all my stuff off to Texas for it to have a professional content photo shoot. And getting the website redone, because when people even go to my website, I want them to understand and see. So kind of now it's just like just awareness of letting people know, oh, I know a natural skincare line. Like, that's kind of what helped me, because I know that my product is amazing, but if people don't know that it exists, then that makes it a little hard.
What's been your most successful marketing strategy this far?
So my most successful, I feel like everything that has happened with Baby Bays has been kind of organic. So Jacoby, my son, who I started this for, he actually is like very, he's like a little Instagram star. And when I post on his page, it goes crazy. Like, I don't have to really do much because they do it for me. And I think that's the benefit. Even though I don't leverage his social media like I should, I know when I do, like, my followers go up, my sales go up, like, people they want to be able to support, so they buy. I actually sell more stuff out of Ohio than I do in Ohio.
Super cool presentation, thank you. Do you have a picture of the packaging?
Yes, I do. I can take a picture. Some of it, you can go down. So this is the,
Baby.
so this is the body wash. So everything is super colorful. Yeah. So that's the body wash. I did these myself with a box and my phone. So the new pictures I know are gonna look good. And then this is the lip balm. It's called Baby's Bees's lip balm, because I like the Bees's because it means kiss and friend. So I just added that. And then this is Jacoby when he was.
Oh.
Oh, where's the folder? Oh, thank you. This is the oil, and then the body butter. You gotta put that out there. See where the body butter is at the top, all the way at the top, like how. But these labels have since changed because talking to somebody, I needed to make sure the colors were just as bright. So now this oatmeal honey is actually orange, and you can go down. And this is actually blue and white, so it looks better aesthetically for the pictures when they get taken.
Very cool.
Thank you.
you. In some ways, it's like, I would say, it's harder to get all the materials yourself and do everything, because you have to do every single piece.
So I do.
So it's actually pretty impressive as opposed to calling someone to make it.
I make all the labels, sanitize all the products.
However, you can, opportunities to market go up, whatever you can offload is.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thinking about the production, ask you. So you clearly want to partner with big retail stores like Target. Have you thought about maybe targeting with chemical producers, people that produce this, just like the Johnsons and Johnsons and so on? I'm sure they have their own production facilities, but I know that there's also facilities that you can rent out or make a deal with, and they'll take your formula and they'll do an NDA so they don't steal it, and all of that, and produce it for you. Have you thought about that?
I have. So I also do like the Verizon business classes. So I got a mentor through that, and she had recommended doing something similar. So I just haven't had a chance to actually like dive in because I'm in school.
Okay, so you're not against it?
No,
I
I'm
didn't know if they were
not.
going to try to force you to put preservatives and make it,
No, because but also sometimes you have to do what makes sense. Like Honey Pot, like when she had to do stuff to make it make sense. Like it's not that she didn't want to keep everything natural or do what she was doing, but at the same time, like the shelf life needed to be longer. Some of the oils that I use since the pandemic are so much higher. Like I don't use like cheap oils. Like so you have to do what makes sense for your business in order for it to grow.
All right, looks like we don't have any other questions. And someone stole our thunder a little bit, but we're going to push it anyway. The last question that we ask all of our presenters is what we as a community can do for you. Now, I know you've already answered that, but feel free to elaborate, expound, and tell us how we can help you in this process.
I mean, I guess if you have resources or anybody who's doing what I'm trying to do, like that's appreciated. I've actually never had nobody ask me what I needed for help, so I've never thought about what I needed.
Yeah, gotta ask. Do you have do you know when the professional photos and website might be done for us to be like then promoting it a little more?
So they said it'll arrive on Friday. They said it'll probably be like a 2-week turnaround time, and then the person who built my website is just waiting for the pictures. So I'm gonna say 4 weeks, 5 maybe.
Okay. I'm excited.
Thank you
for
so
that.
much.
Thank you.